Hello and welcome to Safe Settings Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, you are welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. I am Adedamola Flourish Balami. Safe Settings Podcast is a space about emotional safety, growth, connection, and becoming more aware of ourselves and the people we care for. This is not a place for perfection. It is a place for honesty. It is a place for learning and gentleness. Today's episode is about beginnings. As we all know that this is the beginning of a new year, we are here to understand what this journey is about, how we will go about this year building trust, setting gentle goals for the weeks ahead. So, let's take a breath and arrive. Every meaningful journey starts with safety. And before we can talk about connection, behavior, building skills, and what have you, we need to have a sense of trust. A sense of trust in the environment that you are in, trust in the process, trust in ourselves. That am I sure of the steps that I'm about to take? Safety is actually what allows growth to happen. I take that again. Safety is what allows growth to happen. Hence, we say before you can talk about changes, before you can talk about skills development, before you can talk about setting gentle goals, there has to be a sense of safety. When people feel safe, they explore. When people feel safe, they reflect and they are able to change when there is safety. So this first week is not about any other thing than learning how to establish a safe environment for us to thrive this year. It's not about fixing anything. There is nothing to fix this week. It is only about noticing. You want to notice how you feel. You want to notice exactly what you want for the year, for the quarter, for yourself, for the people around you. And you want to notice what feels supportive for you and what feels heavy. When heaviness comes, the chance of getting stuck, not being able to go ahead with set goals and intentions are very high. So it is also about intention, like I have mentioned, that when we are stuck, we are not able to go ahead with our intentions. It's not, when we say intentions, we're not talking about the big goals, the dramatic changes and all that. We're talking about gentle direction. You might be here because you want to know how to handle your children or how to handle children in your care. You want to understand yourself better or your child better. You want to build better emotional habits that will enhance your growth, or you even want to just grow in self-awareness so that you'll be able to relate better with others and yourself. All of that is welcome in this space at Safe Settings. There is no competition in growth. And we are not going to set any timeline for your growth. There is no timeline for your growth. There is only movement. Even the smallest movement that you make will count towards your journey, will count towards achieving your purpose. So we are looking at how the beginning is. How are we setting these goals? How are we going to be gentle with our goals to achieve the utmost desire, our intention? And that comes with clarity as we go on. Here are some questions that have been asked concerning today's episode. And the first one is, why is it important to have emotional safety before we talk about growth, before we talk about skill development, or before we talk about behavioral changes? The answer is simple. It is because people cannot learn when they are in survival mode. Nobody learns in survival mode. Somebody is drowning. You're telling them to learn how to swim. What they need at that moment is help, is support. All right. Safety calms the nervous system such that the brain will be able to think, right? The brain will be able to make choices. The brain will be able to reflect and grow. Where there is no safety, the brain is in that basic state of flight, fright, or freeze, and not much can be achieved at such state. So the other question is, what helps people feel safe enough to grow? Because we've been asked, okay, why are you saying there must be safety before we can talk about growth, skill, and all that? Now, so another question says, what helps people feel safe enough to grow? Sincerely, what helps people feel safe enough to grow? When people feel seen without judgment, there is safety. When people feel seen and there is no air of shame around them, they can fully express themselves, and without being judged or shamed, they have room for growth and they feel safe to grow. And this has to come with consistency. Also, being kind to yourself, kindness, and then knowing that your mistake will not cost you your belongings. You know, there are environments you're in that once you make a mistake, you can no longer be a part, because everyone has to be perfect. The perfect parent, the perfect wife, the perfect child, the perfect friend, and all that. The third question: what does healthy goal setting look like in personal growth? We've heard so much about goal setting. And at different points, people are called for seminars and webinars. Set smart goals, set clear goals, set goals that are achievable, and all that. A healthy goal basically has intention, has direction, and that direction gives you clarity as you go. So there is direction, there is intention, there is gentleness, flexible goals that guide you forward, without shaming you when you are human. Because when we set goals, there is that chance that we're going to be human. We can fall short at any point. The beauty of a healthy goal is you still get up, you realize, you check, okay, why did I miss it? Why did I falter? Okay, you correct it, you change, and you move forward, because the intention is ahead of you and it gets clearer as you move towards your goal. We have pretty much come to the end of today's discussion on beginnings and understanding how to navigate the year with Safe Settings podcast. However, here are 3 gentle practices for this week. We shouldn't go without them. The first one: create your own emotional check-in habit. Why would I say create your own emotional check-in habit? People say, these things are becoming mechanical. Why should I be having habit check-ins and all that? It actually is a way of developing self-regulation. For example, in creating your own emotional check-in habit, you ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? This moment, how am I feeling? Because that feeling that you're trying to identify is what is responsible for your responses, how you are interacting with people, how you are going about your daily tasks and activities. So you want to have a moment where you pause and you ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? And that is your own emotional check-in habit. The second thing is to name your intention for the quarter. Let it not just be that everything is just happening, you have nothing you're looking forward to. We get to a point after setting goals over and over and failing, New Year resolution and all that, that you get to a point, you tell yourself, you say, you know what, I'm just going to go on. What's going to be is going to be. Everything will fall in place. Or like my friend says, everybody will be all right last. Let's take it a step further. Set your intentions for the quarter. You can put it in this form. Over the weeks, I hope to. Now, how you will not put pressure on yourself is to avoid the use of words like I should, I need, I must. You can say, over the weeks, I hope to exercise 3 times in a week. I hope to eat healthily. I hope to maybe meditate for 15 minutes in a day. Remember, I'm not saying 1 hour. I'm not saying 2 hours. I'm not saying exercise every day of the week, because those are lofty things that we do lofty goals that we set when we're at our highs. And if we're not careful, when we're at our basal level, we tend not to follow through with them. So we're saying that set intentions that are relevant to how your mental framework is going at the moment, so that you know that even if you falter, you will still be consistent. I hope I didn't mix that up. I'll explain it as we go on in the month by the grace of God. Now, the third thing is to choose kindness over pressure. Be kind to yourself. There are goals. The hustle is real, but there are no timelines to your growth. The competition you have is with yourself, it's not with any other person. So there is no point saying, my mates, all my mates, you know that song, all your friends are riding Rolls Royce and all, and you must make amends. All right? But it's more than Mercedes Benz now. Maybe you're looking for cyber. What's the name of that vehicle now? But there is no there is no timeline to your growth. Your growth is your intention, and you are the one that knows how you are going to achieve it. All you need to focus on is there is an intention ahead and you're working towards it by being kind to yourself, by being consistent, by understanding that you could be human, but it shouldn't stop your intention. You will get up, you will make changes, and you keep going towards your goal. And that will help you to realize that growth is allowed to be slow. It will not be slow forever. You will realize that there will be there comes a time where you pick up momentum and you keep going. So choose kindness over pressure. Never put yourself under pressure. Just be kind to yourself and give yourself grace to grow in this new year and in this new quarter. Now, the challenge for this week, there's no week that goes without its own challenge. Write down one word that describes what you want more of. Let's do it quarterly now. What you want more of this quarter, write down one word that describes it. This particular challenge is leading us towards our upcoming workshop, which will be flagging shortly. But write down one word that describes what you want more of this quarter. Do you want more peace? Do you want more patience? Do you want more joy, more connection? Do you want more meaningful relationship with people? Write it down and let that word guide you. You know, if you want connection, you are going to look for the good in other people. You are going to look for what connects you with people rather than what separates you. Let's not go into the workshop. Write down one word that describes what you want more of this quarter and let it guide you. If it is joy, let joy guide you in your relationship and interaction. We have come to the end of the first episode of the Safe Settings podcast. I am still your host, Adedamola Balami. And before we go, I need to really thank you for joining us at the beginning of this journey. I hope you'll be here till the end where we celebrate the year. Remember, you do not have to rush. You do not have to be perfect. All that is required of you this quarter is to be present. And we're working this together. Next week, we'll begin exploring, discovering your identity, and maybe let's say we'll explore self-discovery, self-identity, and all that relates to it. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You are becoming. Bye-bye.